Hello there and welcome. This is Mikhail or Michael speaking. As always, before the video starts, I want to say thank you all who decided to support me financially, be it through Patreon, PayPal or Super Thanks. I really appreciate your generosity, so thank you friends and have a blessed day. Now today's video I will start in Donetsk Oblast, to be more specific, settlement of Marinka, where Russian forces continuously attack in the general direction of Georgievka, from settlement of Marinka, as well as in the direction of Pobjeda and across these open fields along the road that you see right here. And within the last 24 hours, the situation changed significantly. First, it is important to note that the village of Pobjeda has been completely captured by the Russian forces. Here on this video, you can see a Russian soldier establishing a red flag on one of the buildings in the center of Pobjeda, which marked its official capture. Battle for this village was severe and hard, as Ukrainians did everything in their power to keep it for as long as possible. If we zoom out, not only that, Russians were also able to advance here in this area and capture several strongholds that were previously controlled by Ukrainians and did not allow Russians to advance further on. And here are all of the territorial changes that appeared here within the last 24 hours. So as you can see, the village of Pobjeda is now in Russian hands, as well as this big portion of the front with serious fortifications in it. The importance of Russians capturing Pobjeda cannot be underestimated due to various factors. For example, as you can see, village of Pobjeda is situated right in the middle of Georgievka and Kostiantynivka, as well as Novomikhailivka and Paraskoviivka. And as you can see, all around Pobjeda, there are no more villages or towns that can be used by Ukrainian forces as a stronghold. This means that now, with the fall of Pobjeda, Russians can more safely advance along the 00532 road in the direction of Kostiantynivka, as well as across these open fields in the directions of Novomikhailivka and Paraskoviivka. Doing all this in support of the assaults that are already happening in the direction of Novomikhailivka. This will allow Russians to significantly consolidate this entire front, because if Russians are to advance in the direction of Georgievka without consolidation of the front, they will create a ledge that would be very dangerous to hold and will be prone to Ukrainian counterattacks. So perhaps it is for that reason Russians are currently attacking all across this front to reach Georgievka from the south. As those operations are currently ongoing, Russians continuously strike upon Krakhove, which currently Ukrainians are using as a logistical hub for the Ukrainian formations fighting here in this general area. And as news suggests, this town is the most fortified in this general area. Here on this video you can see examples of that. Those strikes are meant to destroy Ukrainian logistic stations, be it repair shops or ammunition depots, with an obvious attempt to collapse Ukrainian supply system and make sure that Ukrainian defenders in Novomikhailivka and Georgievka will receive as less ammunition, supply and reinforcements as possible. So far, this is the general situation on this portion of the front. Then from here let's visit Zaporozhye and discuss situation around Rabotine village, where fighting continues, however without any serious territorial changes. Here Russians continue to attack from Verbova, as well as Novoprokopivka and settlement of Kapani. Russians are also continue to hold on to a small bridgehead to the very outskirts of Rabotine. However, due to Ukrainian counterattacks, were forced to retreat from these trench lines and leave them to Ukrainians. Again, it seems that the situation here is extremely fluid, as almost immediately after Russians counterattacked yet again, and I'm sure will continue to do so in attempt to recapture those vital positions. Again, as they do so, they also attack from this force line that they've acquired yesterday, and if those attacks are to be successful, we can expect Russians to turn around and attack those positions from the rear, and with Russians attacking from the south, west, and southeast, Ukrainian formations here in this area might find themselves overwhelmed and encircled. So holding to these positions are more important for the Russians than it is for Ukrainians. And it seems that next few days will be decisive for this front. Generally speaking, both Russians and Ukrainians continue to increase the amount of troops fighting in this area, and as you can see, it is extremely hard to say who has won the battle for initiative. Currently, this battle is still ongoing. At the very last, let's visit Kherson Oblast and discuss situation within Krynki settlement, as recent news that are coming from this portion of the front are most interesting. Now, according to the Syriac maps, Russian forces were able to advance within Krynki settlement and capture about this much territory from the Ukrainian side, making the Ukrainian-controlled bridgehead within Krynki even smaller. And with fierce and continuous Russian attacks all across the fronts and non-stop bombardment of this whole bridgehead, it seems that Ukrainian command had finally decided to retreat from this bridgehead. Reports suggest that some Ukrainian soldiers are still present within the bridgehead, however are mostly hiding within the many basements of the buildings, and the clearing operations that is currently conducted by the Russians is nearly over. Reports also suggest that Russians are trying to convince Ukrainian defenders that are hiding in the basement to give up, and it's going relatively successfully. Here on this video you can see Russian soldiers holding up flags within Krynki village, and with those news, this Russian victory seems more and more likely. In any way, I think the end of this whole story with Krynki settlement is coming to an end, with history remembering it as a catastrophic blunder. With this I end today's video. Hopefully it was to your liking and was informative enough. If it was, please consider supporting it by hitting that like button, as well as commenting and of course subscribing. Those actions help promote this video to a wider audience, thus helps spread the message. As always, humanity calls me to condemn all violence against human beings. Have a good day and always remember, Russia will be free and great.